Hi, my name is Kevin Gamble and welcome to a new video. This video is going to be a very interesting topic. Now, yesterday I saw the new Spider-Man film and it was amazing. It generally was a really good film. Plus, this is going to have spoilers in it, so yeah. But this is basically, I saw the new Spider-Man film and it is good, but it also has plot holes, even a lot that I noticed. But I'm pretty sure everyone knows that there's going to be plot holes, because there's a thing about when the MCU tries to do something so big. Endgame's got plot holes that people try to ignore because they believe that it's a masterpiece when it really isn't. There's elements that basically they didn't manage to do right because they're trying to cram in this big finale, and it just don't have enough time to do something like that. But then we've also got stuff like this post-credit scene. Now, this is going to be spoilers, so let's talk about this post-credit scene. The MCU's now got a literal tangled up in this whole multiverse universe. Because when I saw this film, there is a post-credit scene. Hold on. I just saw that. It was later. But what this is about is that it's about the post-credit scene. Venom. So basically, if you saw Venom 2, you notice that the ending scene has got him. You got Venom that's travelled to the MCU in order to, and he sees Spider-Man, it's like, that guy. He's going to go fight Spider-Man. But there's already problems with this idea because, one, Morbius, there was a Morbius trailer before the film even started, and it's mentioned San Francisco, which is where Venom takes place now. So basically, Morbius takes place in the exact same universe as Venom. But it also takes place in the exact same universe as the MCU films. So, because the Vulture appears in this. This doesn't make sense, though. Because if this is supposed to come out like that, they've already messed up a post-credit scene. Trust me, there was stuff like that Scorpion kind of team-up thing with the Vulture, which never went anywhere because I don't even know why. This led into something that is completely messing up the multiverse now. Now, obviously, there have been other the MCU's had a mixed and bad year this year. For one, Black Widow had mixed reviews, and people that are saying it's good are basically just saying that because, no, it's good, you're freaking idiots, when really they are the idiots. Now, you can like Black Widow, but you have to admit, it's not a really good film. There definitely is a lot of problems with that, and plus, it wasn't the best. It didn't do that well at the box office, causing Scarlett Johansson to sue Disney. And this is where we get into this subject. So since she sued Disney because of the money and all that, so yeah, you expected this film to make billions, but you have to remember half of the fucking population has just died. Half of the population is dead. So your box office isn't going to be billions anymore. Although this one has actually made billions. Well, millions. I still haven't checked it out, but I have heard that it has broken expectations. I'll need to switch that up, but this is basically what's going to happen with this whole MCU thing. It does look like it's going to have a bright future. Not exactly, though. I was just kidding about that. So, what's happened is that since the Black Widow's failed, they got Shang-Chi. It did well, but it didn't make billions like the usual films. And plus, it did have a lot of problems, but it still was actually quite, I'm going to say, entertaining, because it was... my thoughts on it is that I don't really give a shit. This Phase 4 is really unimpressive. After Endgame and Thanos, what's left? What the hell are they going to do? Sure, they have this, but now that this has happened, so, yeah. But, so Shang-Chi and Black Widow happened. Shang-Chi did alright, but it was not another billion-dollar film. Black Widow technically flopped at the box office. And then we got The Eternals, Marvel's first Rotten Tomatoes low-scored film. The film was literally not well received at earning 59, Rotten Tomatoes. But this whole idea is this. What this is trying to be is that we have finally got an MCU film that is not doing very well. This year's not doing well for the MCU, and plus, let's get into some of the TV shows. WandaVision was good when it started, but the more it went along, it started to get worse and worse until it was just I'm going to say it, garbage. Then we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The idea works. I do like the idea of that, but it's just the politics angle and the stuff that they're trying to do is like, you gotta do better, Senator. That line is so cringe that basically I can't believe people fell for it. These are the exact same people that basically nominated Black Panther for an Oscar. This film, it's no, it's got bad CGI, and it's just another Marvel film. Let's see what else we got this year. We had Loki. Loki had some pretty bad writing in it, but it did try a lot harder than the other shows. Then we got What If, an illogical TV show. What If did have a lot of really good ideas, but the potential was not seized. And they left it on a cliffhanger with the zombies episode, but the rest of the stuff, you do have to switch off your brain to enjoy that show, because there's a lot of disbeliefs. And if you don't fall for those disbeliefs, you're an absolute idiot. But look, like the finale and all that stuff, it was kind of underwhelming. A lot of the episodes were like good to bad, and of course Captain Marvel showed up. So apparently Marvel cannot make good female superhero films, and when DC's triumphing that. Plus, DC actually did have a pretty good year this year. They released the Snyder Cut. Well, they won't really talk about it, but it did kind of get pretty good reviews. And DC has now made the most critically acclaimed film, The Suicide Squad, which technically blows out all of these out of the water, which is amazing. I do like, even Doug Walker stated that DC's kind of going for a much more weirder tone, but that works. Then we've got these final films this year. We have had Spider-Man and Hawkeye. Hawkeye started off quite well with its viewership, but it just bombed. It genuinely just is starting to lose viewers because this is what I've been saying for quite a while. I haven't stated this recently, but oversaturation. How many DC films came out this year? There was 2. How many MCU films came out here? 4. What else? Oh yeah, DC TV shows. We had a season of Doom Patrol. I think Titans isn't in this year, so it's not. So that doesn't count. Stargirl had another season. Like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of stuff coming out here. Like, even for stuff that isn't even like the M's, like, Jesus, got a one impediment thing going on here. But like, a lot of the stuff that's going on with this whole MCU problem is that it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, now I'm just rambling on and going into insanity, but look, what I'm trying to say is that there was 2 DC films this year, and it's oversaturation. DC's taking it slow, trying to build up the audience. They're gonna have a lot more films next year, like the Batman, the Flash, and like Aquaman and all that stuff. Hell, even Shazam or like that Super Pets film. But like the thing is with the MCU, they're oversaturation because the TV shows are a part of the package. So if you put it all together, all these TV shows we have got WandaVision, we have got Black Widow, we've had Falcon and Winter Soldier, we had Loki, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Hawkeye, and Spider-Man. That's about 8 projects this year. And DC's only had 2. That's oversaturation. But plus, I feel that basically the MCU's just kind of like there, it exists, and I don't really think people are giving a crap anymore. That's why the box office is also going to show it. It's not only because like this film's already made billions, which shows that not all of the population is gone and they still want to see these films, but it also just shows that they're disinterested in seeing the other ones and just want to see them like the end game now. They want to see the end. This is the end game moment. But anyways, out of all of this, now we've got to Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the biggest film of this year, and it has totally came out. And it's actually really good. It's definitely a lot better than the other 2 Spider-Man films that they've made. And plus, having to see Tom Holland with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This whole battle, it was so much fun for this ending. But then we get into the post-credits scene. See, as I've mentioned before, Morbius is connected to the MCU, but there's a problem with this whole idea, and I think Kevin just doesn't want Venom to appear in these films, so he did that thing, but not even knowing what he's actually done is he's messed up the entire universe. because Venom is transported, but that doesn't make any sense though. The Venom post-credit scene doesn't make any sense now because of this. Venom's transported to the MCU, even though she's already in the MCU, because Morbius is in the MCU. Morbius is inside the MCU, and since Venom takes place in the universe where Morbius takes place, and that means basically that Venom is inside the MCU already. So him getting transported to the MCU is weird because he's already in there. And then there's this post-credit scene. This has pissed me off. I genuinely flipped the bud at the cinema screen when they that because he's like, they're building up he's going to fight Spider-Man in this film, or hell, even a sequel. We want to see that. That is going to be awesome. But Kevin doesn't want that. Kevin Feige does not want that. So what does he do? He tells them that. So what happens is that Venom is transported back to the MCU. What? He's transported back to San Francisco. But that means Morbius is that means he's still in the MCU. He's not left the MCU, Kevin. You know that, don't you? Venom gets transported back in a seriously pissed off moment. Like we want to see this Venom fight Spider-Man. That's what we want to see. But Feige doesn't want that. That's why he sends him back. Plus, what does this mean for those Netflix shows? Daredevil appears in this, and he's played by Charlie Cox. That's awesome. And plus, he might have a Netflix show since the Kingpin's also in here. But doesn't that also mean that the Punisher exists in this universe? And plus, have you actually seen the Punisher TV show? You know, he scrapes a guy's face on a mirror. Like the guy's got it's violent as hell. And Disney's still allowing that to be in the property? Not only that, this whole idea of this multiverse thing, they started off it kind of well with the idea of the What If episodes and all that, and plus the multiverse with Loki, even though it does kind of feel a little bit complicated in Loki. But now we've got this. Jesus. This is a good idea, but the way how they executed it makes it it's the MCU's basically just ruined their whole plan. They've literally just ruined their whole plan. Because Kevin is just. Plus, didn't Sony say that they would give you back Spider-Man if Venom and Morbius are in the MCU? So if they've transported that, Kevin's basically lying. He's literally going to put himself in a suing corner right now. Because this means basically they're never going to get that Venom film. They're never going to get Venom and Morbius in the MCU. So let me try and explain this a lot more easily. Venom's in the MCU. Shit, I keep losing this because I talk so much. But look, what I'm trying to say is that the Spider-Man films, they exist in the MCU. The whole MCU, yeah. Morbius takes place in the MCU because the Vulture appears in that. But also, it takes place in the exact same universe as Venom because they mentioned San Francisco in the trailer. So basically, Venom takes place in that universe. So Venom already exists in the MCU. Then there's Venom 2's post-credit scene. He gets transported into the MCU. That doesn't make sense because basically he's already in the MCU. This doesn't make any sense. How are they even going to get him back? Because they're going to try and get him back. Kevin, you're missing an opportunity here. I thought you were supposed to be smart. I thought you were supposed to get money. Someone's telling you to switch off your brain. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I'm literally speaking in businessmen. Like businessmen right now. But so yeah, Venom's transported to the MCU, and you expect him to pop up in this film, and plus at the bar, they do actually hint that he might actually go to New York and find him. But then he's sent back. This is a big moment, because I'm pretty sure this pisses off a lot of fans. We could have seen this Venom fight Spider-Man. That Topher Grace battle, it was fine, but it wasn't the best. We want to see the real deal. And then he's just sent back, because he's just sent back for no reason. So what was the point even bringing him there? I'm here. Wait, am I even going to fight him? No, I'm just going to stay at this tiki bar. But what does this mean, though? If he's being sent back, where would he go? Where are they going to send him? Where's he been sent to? Because if he's sent back to San Francisco, where in the exact same universe where Morbius is, that means he's still in the MCU. So, what are you trying to do, Kevin? What is this whole thing? I'm pretty sure basically some people that will speculate this doesn't make any sense though. I can't believe this, that fucking 16-year-old kid, me, like 16-year-old, like a teenager, has been able to figure out a plot hole in a $1 million movie. I'm not even sure this film had millions. I think it had billions with it. This film had a budget that big, and yet I'm able to discover a plot hole that actually could like ruin your whole plan. I'm super whipping, baby. You can't defeat me. But this whole idea that they do want to get Venom into the MCU. That's what Sony agreed to. Feige is saying that you can't have him in the like you have to send him back. That's a disagreement against the film. Plus, what the hell does Morbius mean then? Does Morbius take place during like No Way Home? Is what happening with No Way Home, like when he's gone? Plus, it's like, how the hell does people still know? Like, what was that whole point then? What? Like, if like, by the way, spoiler. If people forgot who Peter is, what's the point in having that Sinister Six? Plus, by the way, there's not even Sinister Six. There's 5 of them. You couldn't count. The Sandman, Lizard, Electro, like the Green Goblin, and like Doc Ock. That's 5, not 6. Like, you know, even if you said that Venom was in the film and like he's the 6th one that didn't bother to fight, that's fine. He doesn't need to fight, but don't just like send him there and then send him back. Because what was the point in doing that then? I'm here. Oh wait, no, I'm just going. What was the point of that? It's Kevin. It's not funny. No, that's a piss off the fans. Because you want to see the ball. You want to see the man. You want to see the big. Like, you want to see that Tom Hardy's Venom versus like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. That's the big deal. That sounds amazing, and yet Kevin's like Kevin's just like, no, we need like plus by the way, the audience that's probably watching this clicks on the video in the first few minutes and it's like, look at this kid, look at this fucking idiot kid. He's getting improved by a plot hole. No, I'm not. I already think ahead of this. But like, look. Disney wants cash. This film's made billions. It's gonna be the last $1 billion film in my opinion. Because like, sure you can go and see Guardians, but I'm not sure that's gonna make like over $1 billion. Because people just have started to get oversaturated with all this like superhero shows and all that. But now we get into this real problem with this whole idea. So they've literally just messed up the entire multiverse with this film. It's a good film, but they've already messed up their plan. So how are they going to fix it? I wonder if Kevin will figure out something. Or hell, even if he sees this video. Or someone actually tells him on Twitter. Not even me, if I have to tell him on Twitter. Like, I'm not even sure if I'm fucking famous, for Christ's sake. Like, I've only got about 9 followers. Although they're good followers because they're following me, so I guess there are people that listen. But, like, if you understand what is going on here, like, this whole plot hole problem is huge. So Venom's being sent back in time. So Venom's sent back to the world where Morbius is, so he's technically still in the MCU. Like, unless this is an MCU, unless this is an alternate universe. Like, this is the Watcher. There's no superheroes, only villains. That could be maybe because of the explaining of like how they've never heard of the Avengers and all that stuff, but like, how are they going to figure this out? I'm not sure, but I'm sure Kevin's thought something. And if he hasn't, he's literally just ruined his entire $1 billion franchise. So yeah, this was an 18-minute long video explaining the plot holes and how the MCU is kind of failing. So yeah, dear audience, if you've listened to this, remember, if you still like these films, watch them. Also, go and see some other films in cinemas. Some of those independent films and original idea films were bombing. People were just going to go see the superhero films. Maybe support some more original stuff. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, I should just have explained the plot holes with this new Spider-Man film, and how it's affected the entire MCU, the multiverse, and yeah, I just pointed at a humongous plot hole. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in another video. Please subscribe. I need to live.